My name's Zac Dingee. I run a solar sales company that does over $100 million a year. And today I'm going to talk about Taylor McCarthy. He did a 90-minute keynote at our event and we had phenomenal feedback afterwards. So today I want to talk about 7 things I learned from Taylor McCarthy. This guy's been in solar since 2014, over a decade now in solar. He's one of the OGs in the game, and he's been crushing at a high level for 12 years now. So there's really not a lot of people like him because solar and door-to-door is such kind of a new industry and thing. So he's one of the veterans, and he's done it all across the country, all over the place, and I learned a lot from him. I had to spend a lot of money to learn from him, so today I want to share it with you for free. Number 1, the first thing I learned from him that you recognize as soon as he starts talking is his dedication and obsession to door-to-door. A lot of people treat door-to-door like it's a part-time thing, or they're going to do it for 2 years and they're going to go do a real business. And what I've learned is door-to-door is just like any other form of sales. The reason people don't like to do it for a long period of time is because you can burn out. And it's something that you have to get really, really good at to enjoy. For example, if you're not good at door-to-door and you go out on 3 days a week, you get no appointments on the doors or no sales, you make no money, door-to-door sucks. But if you're going out in door-to-door and you're selling a deal a day 6 times a week and you're making 6 deals a week that are $5,000 a pop, that's $30,000 you're making in a week. Then door-to-door is really, really fun. So door-to-door is one of those skills where you either are 100% at it or you're nothing. Like, you can't be mediocre at door-to-door and enjoy it. You have to be either really good or you can't do it. So when it comes to door-to-door and his obsession to the game, he treats it like a full-time, I'm in this forever and I'm never leaving door-to-door. This is the space I want to master. And so because of that, he's become what he is today. But something that I think I've been doing this now for 8 years, so I've been in the game a while too. And you realize a lot of people treat this like it's just another thing, another job. It's their career for now, and it's nothing special. When in reality, there's people in this business making $2, $3, $4, $5 million a year. So if you treat it like that, it will become that for you. So dedication to the game is something I learned from Taylor McCarthy, and he may be the most dedicated I've ever seen in door-to-door. Second thing, people don't buy because they understand. They buy because they feel understood. I'm going to give you a good analogy here. When you're talking to your significant other and they're telling you about the bad day they had or the bad thing, they don't want to be told the solution. They just want you to listen and to be in the pity potty with them. They want you to get in the sandbox with them and feel bad. That's all they want. And that's a lot like a buyer. A buyer doesn't want to be sold. They want to make an informed decision and buy from you. And how do you do that? You ask them good questions. You get them to come to their own conclusions, and you make them feel like you're just holding their hand and walking them along to the sale. You're not pushing them from their back to the sale. So you do that by asking good questions, by being truthful and honest and explaining things when they have questions in depth, and really just guiding them to the sale rather than pushing them to the sale. The third thing is customers have stalling tactics too. What does this mean? Just like you have skills to sell a homeowner, they have skills because they bought things before on how to not buy from you or how to stall the purchase. One of my very good mentors, Gio, used to tell me all the time, people legitimately, before you come into the house to sell them a product, because they dealt with the window salesman that was there for 3 hours and they couldn't get him out of the house, they will come up with, before you walk in, if I pretend like I get a phone call from our daughter and she says we need to pick her up from baseball, then we got to go. Or if I take my hat off and put it down on the table, that means you got to act like something happened and we got to get out of here. So they literally will make up things before you get there just in case they don't want to deal with you anymore to get out of the presentation. And if you don't think that happens, you are wrong, because that 100% happens. And then second to that, they just have things that they know they don't want to show you all their cards. They're not going to open up because they know they're going to get sold because they've done it before with a car salesman or a guy at Home Depot or whatever it is. So they have tactics just like you. And you have to fight those tactics, right? And Taylor McCarthy has this phenomenal line, which is, if your tactics are sound, they can't fight you. And a lot of times they want to fight you. They want to resist. They don't want to, if you're in a boxing match, you got to get their hands to drop to get a punch in. And when you walk in the house, the homeowner's like this. They don't want you to throw punches. They don't want to let their guard down. So you have to bring their guard down by asking questions, getting them to listen to you and talk to you. And if not, they have tactics to not buy from you or to stall the decision. Number 4 is creating a persona. This one I really, really like. A lot of the top athletes you listen to, they all have like nicknames or personas, or one that's super famous was Kobe Bryant. He called himself the Mamba when he was on the court. When you go into that field, or I listen to David Goggins a lot. David Goggins has explained this before. He has David and he has Goggins. Goggins is the ultra marathon runner. David is the guy at home, right? To his wife, to his kids. I think especially in door-to-door is an extreme skill set. It takes extreme focus and determination to get good at it. And so when you're on the doors, you want to create that persona about yourself. You want to come up with a nickname for who you are on the doors. Another thing I just saw this on is Alex Hormozi and Tony Robbins' podcast. They talk about this, and Alex gives himself 2 different names, Anabolic Alex and Analytical Alex. Those are 2 different people that he can go into. You know who's really good at this? Women. My wife is phenomenal at this. She has like 7 different personalities she can do whenever she wants. Women have mastered this creating persona. Men are not very good at this. So if you are knocking on doors or doing any high-level sales, high-ticket sales, or running a business, I suggest you create a persona when you go into that space and you have to become a new person. The persona I use, and I kind of use this in a couple different categories of my life, I call it disciplined dingy, where this could be when I'm training for my half Ironman, or I'm running, swimming, biking, any of those, I'm in jujitsu, or I am working, I'm going door to door. Any of those things, I'll typically talk to myself like I'm disciplined dingy, and this is another version of myself. And then at home, I'm Zach, and I'm just my normal self, and there's nothing different about me. But when I'm trying to do something big or hard, I tell myself I'm disciplined dingy, and I create that ego for myself. So that when I'm on the doors, or so that when I'm working on something, I can get into that creative side of me, right? And I think something really, really strong in business is you can make these different personas for different things you're doing. So when I'm on the doors, I'm talking like, yo, I'm the best door knocker in the country. There's no way people can say no to me today. I'm getting anybody I talk to is 100% going solar. There's no way people could say no to me. So I start talking to myself like that, and that's that persona I made for myself. And it's okay to have that. You need that in a lot of cases. When you're doing something that's not easy, like a version of sales or running a company, there are going to be times where you need that ego and you need to go show people what you're worth. And then there's times where you don't need that ego and you need humility and you can't be crazy. So you have to know how to use those too, because when you're door to door, you got to be on. And if you're not, that 16th door might have been a sale, but you weren't on, and so you lost it. This next one is kind of the same. If you want to be rich, you got to be weird. Rich people do weird things sometimes. Self-talk in the field. Yes, this sounds kind of funny, but when you're out in the field and you're doing your position, you're knocking on doors, let's say, knock, knock, knock. I'm talking to myself or the recruit I'm with as if this person already bought solar. So I'll knock, boom, boom, boom. This person was just talking about how bad their central Rottendale was. They can't wait for me to knock on their door. They literally are going to be so excited that I just knocked on the door. 100% this is a sale. Boom, they come outside. Now I'm ready to go. I'm priming myself for when they come out the door for me to be ready. And our brain loves to go negative places. Chances are, if I knock on the door and I'm new, I'm like this. And I remember doing this for myself. Knock, knock, knock. Fuck, I really hope they don't answer this door. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to say. There's no way they're going to be happy. Their dog's going crazy. They're going to be pissed. That's what I'm thinking in my head. We can't help it. Our brains love to go to the negative. So if I don't speak the positive out loud and speak this into existence, I'm going to go to the negative and I'm not going to get that door or that sale. So when you are in the field, using self-talk, use words of wisdom and words of affirmation while you're out doing your position, so you don't let yourself go into that negative thought. And when you catch yourself having that negative thought, like, whew, I really don't want to be out here right now. You got to take that thought and attack it. When I have that thought, I literally will constantly say to myself out loud, Zach, that thought, I understand. You're trying to keep me safe, brain. You're trying to tell me things that I need to understand. However, I don't want that thought right now. I appreciate you. I love you. But I want this thought instead. And now I'm going to replace it with a thought that I want to use instead of that thought. And if you don't do that and you let your brain slip into that, you will lose. So you have to talk to yourself out loud and you have to hold your thoughts hostage, especially when you're actually in the process of door to door or training for an Ironman or whatever it is, you have to hold those thoughts hostage and not let you slip into that negative mind. And you do that by self-talk. People don't want to be the first to something. They also don't want to be the last. So they have FOMO, but they also don't want to be the first person in the neighborhood to go solar or to do whatever product you're selling, right? So you have the 5-3-2 technique. Before I say this, if you know what this is, comment below. And if you don't, I 100% suggest you put this in your repertoire because it is a game changer. So here it is, 5-3-2. The company wants me to fund 5 of these. We've already done 3. We have 2 more to go for today. So I'm making it in that. Here's what my goal is. We've already talked to 3 people in this neighborhood that have done it. We need to do 2 more today so I can go home. So I'll say it again. The company wants me to fund or use or do whatever kind of word you want to use there is fine. But the company wants me to do 5 of these today. We've already done 3. I have to fund 2 more of these projects before I can go home. Boom. And then I roll into what I'm saying. They're not the first. They're not the last. You're making it like it's a normal thing. And this is exactly what your job is to do. And you're trying to help this person. So 5-3-2 technique is so strong because it makes people feel like, okay, people are already doing it. I'm not the first. I'm not the last. Okay, what do you got for me, right? So 5-3-2 technique, that's number 6. If you are going door to door, you have to use this. Maybe in other sales, it doesn't work as great in door to door. I think it does, but specifically door to door. Last one is do business with people you want to do life with. Okay, there's a guy I follow on Instagram. His name is Sharon, and he was in Goldman Sachs. He sold the company for $1 billion, and he's a phenomenal business person on social media. Something that he said that stuck with me. Before you're in business, you think it's all about the destination. So you think, before I get into this business or open this business, it's all about making $20 million or making my first million, whatever that is. But every time, once you hit that, you realize, oh wow, it's actually about the journey. It's about, like, I remember being back in the day when I was broke and we had to do this for business, or oh my God, you remember when we had to go take out that loan, or when we worked until 2 a.m. in the morning because we were trying to get this task completed. You think it's about the journey. And then when you've had a season, 2 decades, 3 decades in business, you realize it's about the people. It's not about the money. It's not about the journey. It's about the people you work with. Because at the end of the day, that's the majority of what you remember, is moments with specific people. You want to do business with people you want to do life with. If you are in business, I suggest you are auditing and very, very intentional about the people you spend your time with and hire and work with. Because when you look back, those will be the moments that you enjoy and love the most. So these are the 7 things I learned from one of the best door-to-door sales reps I've ever heard or listened to. And if you only take one thing away from this video, it would be the last one, is to do business with people you want to do life with. That is the most enjoyable, the most important. You'll make the most money when you actually enjoy the people you're around. If you're waking up and you're dreading going to work, it's probably because of the people, not the actual thing you're doing. That's the video for today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.